Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I seek recognition to speak in support of the Broadband Internet Connections for Rural America Act. Connecticut is deeply familiar with the digital divide, especially the northwest corner of the 5th Congressional District, which I represent. A 2018 study of the northwest corner of Connecticut found that only 79% of households had access to wired broadband services. 20% only had access to a kind of wired connection that does not even meet the current FCC definition for broadband and is not upgradable. Over 18,000 homes have no access to any form of wireless connection. Most concerning, the broadband network on which the current access is founded has exceeded capacity and requires immediate investment. But the gap in coverage is not just home-based internet. Cell service is also a factor. In my district, there are 275 miles of road which have no cell service. This is a reality I regularly have to prepare for as I travel to parts of my district in the northwest corner, and one that residents have to deal with on a daily basis. These conditions are especially troublesome as our district tries to rebuild from the economic impacts of COVID-19. Throughout the pandemic, Litchfield County in Connecticut saw a large influx of new residents and families, primarily from New York. These new residents represent a huge opportunity for our state, which had seen a decline in population and an exodus of younger families over the past few years. This threatens our long-term economic prospects and employment base, particularly in these rural communities. These families, however, deserve reliable, strong access to internet and mobile services. This is not a luxury. It's a requirement to ensure that all Connecticut families have equitable access to high-quality education, telehealth services, remote work opportunities, and more. The Broadband Internet Connections for Rural America Act makes a bold $43 billion investment in federal broadband programs to ensure all Americans have access to the basic services of our society. It expands a last mile and middle mile technical and financial assistance to rural communities looking to improve their broadband network into one comprehensive federal program. I'm especially pleased to see that this bill requires the Secretary of Agriculture to conduct a review of the minimum broadband standard, a standard which has cut out the northwest corner of my district from substantial federal funding despite their persistent broadband connectivity deficiencies. It's very important to me that this standard is updated to reflect increased internet connectivity needs, and I look forward to working with the Secretary on this issue once the bill has passed into law. So again, I thank you, Mr. Chair, for working with the committee, for working with the minority members to come up with this bipartisan bill that we can all support that will bring much needed relief to the residents in my community, especially on the heels of this COVID pandemic, which has exacerbated this community that was already disconnected from service in so many ways. I'm pleased to support this bill and urge my colleagues to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and with that, I yield back.